upload it to YouTube, and it's given me a note here that just went away. So, because I see some folks were muted, so that should still be fine. So we are recording. David, take it away when you're ready.
All right. Well, if this is going to be a 45-minute session, we are going to really go fast. But basically, the Macintosh operating systems should be fairly similar amongst all of the products now. You should be running a fairly current version. If you go to the Apple menu on your computer, you can do About This Mac, and it will bring up what version of software that you're running. In this case, I am running 10.7.4. Everybody should be running a 10.7 or a flavor thereof. The MacBook Airs may be slightly different, but occasionally what we'll have to do is go around and update these stations to get them on the more current versions. We are going to ask that the MacBook Airs come back in for a couple hours and cycle them in so we can get them updated. I believe most of those, though, are current. The ability to download software, as most of you folks have noticed, is just like it was on the PCs, where it does require administrative privileges. So if there's something that you're missing, you need to let us know so that we can dial into the computers and get that installed for you. If you are within the building environment, we can remote control into most of the computers and actually do what needs to be done. If you're away from the buildings, then we are going to need the laptops to be back into the physical buildings or bring them into to a technician directly. Underneath the Apple menu, you'll see that you have some controls for your dock. Your dock is down here at the bottom. This is where these little icons are located. These icons can be taken and you can throw them away, or you can add new ones as necessary. So for example, if I take my Google Chrome, I can pick it up with the mouse and just take it. Well, I can't do it because it's running, I'm sorry. And I can drop it. And so you can add and take away different items. These are just shortcuts to be able to launch the programs much quicker. You'll also notice when you look at this that they have little dots underneath the certain icons. That indicates that that program is running in memory. So it doesn't look like there's anything actually running, but really I have Firefox, I have Chrome, I have Thunderbird running, I have my chat running, and the remote desktop, which I will shut that down. The settings for the dock is controlled underneath the Apple menu, Dock, or under the System Preferences. And if you go into Dock Preferences, this is where you can control things like how much of a spring, how small they are, how large they are, how much magnification, if you don't want them to get that big. See that now they don't jump real huge. You can position the screen, different points on the screen. A lot of the folks, your screens are limited in space, so maybe it would be better to have it on the left-hand side so that you're not bumping into them. If you go down to a bottom of a document, like an Excel spreadsheet or something, you're down here and you keep bumping into these. That's one way that you can kind of move it around and take advantage of some more real estate. Obviously, you can also just not turn off where it zooms up and down, and that will also prevent that from jumping up into your applications. I'd still run mine at the bottom, and I'd run the magnification on mine as well. If you point and hover over any of these, it should bring up a name of what each one of these programs are. In addition to that, if I hold down the Command key and then press Tab, it'll bring up a list of all the running applications. Now, if I let go of the Tab key, it drops the icons away. So if I hold the Command key, which is located next to the space bar, and press the Tab key one time, letting go of the Tab key, but maintaining my finger on the Command button, it will bring up all the different applications, and I can take the arrow keys and scroll through. Some other things that kind of distract people, you have an X button here. I have a minimize and a maximize. I can close out of that, but actually Thunderbird was still running. So even though I close this, you can see at the very top where it says Thunderbird, File, Edit, View. Just because the window's not visible anymore does not mean the application's not running. And I can show you that as well two ways. The white icon is, the little dot is still underneath the application. Also, if I do the Command Tab, you can see that Thunderbird is still in the list. If you truly want to close a program, once you bring your focus to Thunderbird, you'll see that there's an option here that says Quit Thunderbird. Anything that has a shortcut will have the command, we call it the butterfly key, but it's the command key. It's the one right next to the space bar, left or right. And if you do the key combination of Command Q, it will quit the program. When you're at the desktop level, you'll see the word Finder. When you bring open your Finder preferences, this is where you can do things like, I like to be able to see the file extension names. It helps me. When performing searches, search the current folder. I don't necessarily want to search the whole hard drive, so I always set mine to search the current folder. When we say search the folder, if you go over to here, or if you go into my computer, and let's say I go to, on the left-hand side, if I go to Documents, and I want to search for AT-AIR, I don't want to search the whole hard drive. I want to search just the documents. And so by changing the Finder settings here, it defaults to only searching at the folder level where I'm located. Now that doesn't mean that I can't change it and say, well, I want to search the whole Mac. There is no other instance of it, but if I click this, it will actually search the whole Mac instead of just the documents area. So you still can override it, but by default, I always want to search where I'm pointing. On the sidebar, this is where you can control what is showing up in your favorites items and shared items. You go to the Finder preferences, you click on your sidebar, and then you can turn on and off folders. Like if I want to see my download options, I can click this, and then now I have a shortcut built in here so I can go to the download items. In addition to the download items in the sidebar, I do have it down here on the dock. Here's a shortcut to my applications, here's a shortcut to my documents, and here's a shortcut to the downloads. So if I click on this, it gives me a quick preview. I can also open in Finder and bring it up in a window, or I can just go here and it brings up the window, the same as going down to here. And then this is just, I don't use the labels a whole lot. A lot of folks will use the labels if they want to identify something. You can search by labels. So if you assign something a red label, you can actually say, show me everything on my hard drive that has a red label on it. That looks like this. I can go in here, go down to label, and now I've just labeled that as red. And then under the search criteria, you can actually, there's conditions you can put in here to do more complex searching that will allow you to go in and actually search for things that are labeled a certain way. And under the general, if you don't like your hard disk showing up on the desktop, you'll notice when I click this, my desktop items over here is disappearing. When you mount an external hard drive, it'll show up on the desktop. I like to be able to see that on my desktop level. Not everybody likes that. There's also an option that when you open folders, you can open them in multiple windows. So when that's selected, if I have this window open and I click this, it should open it in a new one. Let me restart that again. See, now it's cascading. Instead of keeping the same window and stepping through, it keeps adding another window set. If you hold down the Command Option Q, I think it's Command Option Q. No, Command Option W, it closes all windows. I hit them without thinking them anymore. So if you have multiple windows open like that, I can just hit Command, the Option key, and then W, and it closes all windows. Back to the Finder preferences. I do not like having my windows go nuts like that, so and open up hundreds of windows, so I always run that as off. And this is just to make it look pretty, the spring loading, so that you see it disappear and you see it, when you close it, it springs down and it springs back up. It's just a graphical, make it look pretty. This is your general window If you go into the Macintosh hard drive and you look on the Macintosh hard drive, you'll see that the structure is a little bit different than what you're used to seeing on a PC environment. The Macintosh hard drive is your C drive in the PC translation. And within that C drive, or in the Macintosh hard drive environment, all applications are shared amongst the applications folder. So different users log in, they have access to what's in this folder here, and this is the application folder. So here's all your programs. Now, you may have more programs than what's down on this bench. Like, for example, there's a chess app in here. Well, you don't see it down here, but I can still run that application. You can create folders in different areas. If you go down to the user folder, you'll see multiple folders, and for most folks, you'll be working in the ACM folder. I cannot see these folders even though I'm an admin on the machine because this does not belong to me. This is my home, and this is actually where my files reside. So this is where my desktop folder is located. So everything that's on my desktop is also a folder. So here is the folder that represents my desktop. The documents, the downloads, my Dropbox, everything's located in here. Most of these things are accessible over here, so it's not very often that you actually have to go into the user area. There's different ways that you can view these icons. You can click here at the top and you can select it as an icon view. And if these things are all scattered all over the place, you can right mouse button and just perform a cleanup, or you can arrange by name, or you can arrange by whatever options that you have here. So you can clean up by date modified, by, you can arrange them by the size, whatever options that you want. This is a list with a chevron option where you can actually drill down into individual folders. If you double click, it will take you, and you'll now see that you're in that particular folder called Pictures. If I want to go back, I can step back. So now I'm into the picture category here. We're going to try another option here. I don't know what the technical name for this is, but oh, wait a minute here. But basically what this does is it does a multiple windows, and as you keep going right, you can see everything will shift. I'm trying to find more folders here. And then I can slide back and forth to see the different components. So if you want to go up, you can just go back to here and start over again. Whatever one that you're highlighted on, that is what you're focused on. So this is your focus. If you click on any of these icons or any of the applications, you'll get a thumbnail preview and some detailed information about that particular document. If you switch over to this particular view, and I guess I need to learn the technical names for all of these, but this particular view gives you a preview, slideshow preview. And as you step through them, you can just flip right through them, or you can go up here and click. This works well for documents as well as just photographs. There's a lot of different things that you can use that for. Let me see if I have anything interesting in the document area.